All right. So coming into a comfortable cross-legged position. You may wish to use your block for this, placing the block out front, removing the flesh from underneath the sits bones, and sitting up nice and tall. And as we arrive together on our mats, bringing your full attention to your practice, just noticing the breath, noticing your physical body this morning. You may wish to close the eyes or just look down with a soft gaze. Our sutra for the morning is yoga is the uniting of consciousness and the heart. As we go into our practices, we will pay attention to any thoughts or any emotions, and then anchor them with the breath back into the heart. So often when we are experiencing any emotions, whether it is what we would consider positive or negative, we have a tendency to place judgment, good or bad, on the emotions or on the thoughts. And our yoga practice invites us to just observe and to witness without the judgment, letting it all in and just noticing what we're feeling. Perhaps where in our body we're feeling it. And even just be aware of the meaning that we assign to whatever feelings we are having. And in the space of letting it in, we allow it to integrate, dissolve, and then we can let it go. However, when we resist or we start to fight it, we start to create turbulence, disturb the calm, true nature. Or when we amplify it and chase the story, we once again disturb the calm, true nature. It is our human nature to assign some sort of meaning, to think through, to problem solve. But our divine nature leads us back to ease, simplicity, and stillness. And no better way to learn that than in a yin yoga practice, where we move into poses that perhaps may not feel completely comfortable. We assign judgment to them, and then we witness. So just allow yourself to notice what's coming up for you right now. As you sit in this easy seated pose with the crown of the head reaching up and lifted towards the sky, and the sits bones rooting down into the earth. Hinging forward onto the hips, bringing the torso forward, the heart moving past that space between the legs, and let the head drape down into a seated forward fold. You may wish to place your head onto the blocks, allowing the palms to rest upright, back of the hands on the ground. Take a few life-affirming breaths here, and then let them out easily. And gently bring your awareness to your heart center, the seat of consciousness. And just observe as the consciousness gets drawn away from the heart, perhaps attracted by any discomfort in the body. And then gently gather the consciousness and draw it back to the heart. Again, observe as consciousness is drawn from the heart. Perhaps attracted this time by the mind and its myriad of thoughts. And gently gather your consciousness and lovingly return it back to the heart. You may wish to repeat silently or aloud. Yoga is the uniting of consciousness in the heart. I abide in my own true nature, joy. Observing the movement of consciousness from the heart towards emotions or any feelings. And gently gather your consciousness and lovingly return it back to your heart. Repeating silently or aloud, yoga is the uniting of consciousness in my heart. I abide in my own true nature, joy. And slowly take in a few deep breaths, letting them out easily. Rotating your palms down, pressing the ground away, start to rise up. Take your time. Hold for a moment as you root down with the hips, lifting up with the crown of the head. Uncrossing the legs, rocking back. We're going to lay down onto our mat now. With the knees bent, we'll move into reclined pigeon. Drawing the right knee up, place the right ankle on top of the left knee. Then bringing the left foot up, interlace the fingers behind the left thigh, and drawing the leg in. Taking a couple of deep breaths here, and mindfully letting them out slowly. Noticing where your consciousness has gone, and returning it back to the heart again and again. Yoga is uniting the consciousness and the heart. I abide in my true nature, joy. Gently gathering your consciousness once again wherever it has gone. Bringing it back to the heart again. We'll take a couple more deep breaths here, letting them out slowly and gently. Sliding the hands from behind the left leg. Slowly start to lower that left foot back down to the mat. As you step the right foot off, pause here for just a moment. Rooting down with the tailbone and the back of the shoulder blades. 2 more deep breaths. And then bringing the left leg in, taking the left ankle and place it on top of the right knee this time. Lifting the right foot up off the ground, interlace the fingers behind the right thigh and bring it in. Finding your edge, a place where you can settle and breathe. Anchoring your mind in the sutra, gathering your attention and bringing it back to the heart. Yoga is uniting the consciousness in the heart. I abide in my true nature, joy. Three more breaths, letting them out slowly and gently. And sliding the hands off of the right leg, lowering the right foot back down to the mat. And then stepping off of the left, we're going to pause here, settling down into the back of the hips, the shoulder blades. For our next pose, you have the option to extend the arms above the crown of the head. If you'd like to open up into the shoulders, you can interlace the fingers and place the hands behind the head. We're going to extend the legs long and step the feet over to your left side, moving into a half moon. Lift the head and bring the torso over towards the left side, creating a half moon shape recline. If it stretches too intense in your right arm, you can always just place the right hand onto the belly. Finding your edge, so if you like to cross that right ankle over the left ankle, you can do so, creating a deeper stretch along the right side of the body. And then bring your consciousness back to the heart, back to your sutra. Yoga is uniting consciousness in the heart. I abide in my true nature, joy. Remember to take slow, deep breaths, letting them out slowly and gently. So our practice today, for chi purposes or energy purposes, we are working with the gallbladder meridian, which sits near the liver. And both are responsible for cleansing the body, filtering out anything that no longer serves the body. The liver is also related to the emotions of anger and frustration. So by focusing on the gallbladder meridian and the liver meridian, we can allow the emotion of anger to move through our body, using the breath and using our sutra, letting it in, bring it back to the consciousness in the heart. Two more deep breaths here. Slow exhales. On your next inhale, lifting the head up, reposition it back to the middle. Releasing the right leg, bring it back to the center and the left leg. Take a moment and just allow the body to be still at the center. If you want to slip the hands down along the side of the body, you can. And then once again, positioning the hands underneath the head, walking the right foot out to the side, shifting the hips over to the left, and we're going to lift the head and draw the torso over to the right. Positioning the arms in a placement that feels good so that you can hold the position, hold the pose, half moon. Crossing that left ankle over the right if that feels good. And tuning back into the breath, back into your sutra. gathering your consciousness, be it in the mind, in the body, or any emotions, and bring it back to the heart. Two more deep breaths here. Lifting the head with the palms, reposition the upper body to the center. And then walking the legs back to the middle, releasing the hands from behind the head. And just notice what you notice. Our next position is a new position. It's called cattail. We're going to roll over onto our side. So roll over onto the side that's facing the camera. And here you may find using your strap helpful or useful. First, we're going to extend our bottom arm out and above the crown of our head, resting your head onto your arm. Bring your other hand just down in front of you. Bend your top leg. And you're going to place the top leg down in front of you. The knee is bent to start. Just hold here for a moment. Take 3 deep breaths. And then extend your top leg straight out. Holding here, a couple deep breaths. Lifting your head up off of the extended arm. We're going to bring that arm straight out in front of us. And then start to roll the torso back onto your mat. Reaching behind you with the opposite arm. And then you're going to start to draw the bottom leg into a bend, bringing that bottom foot up towards the hip, reaching down and take hold of the bottom foot and hold it towards the lower part of the body. Now here you can use the strap by bringing the strap around the top of that foot and hold it in that way. It's called cattail. If this is too intense with the waist, you can always bend the top knee and holding your cattail. Where you'll feel this stretch initially before we return back to our heart is the top of the thigh on the bent knee. You may feel it on the back side of the extended leg. You may also feel it in the waist as we are adding a bit of a twist here. And then gradually draw your consciousness back into the heart. Breathe. Yoga unites consciousness in the heart. I abide in my true nature, joy. Feel free to place the hand on top of the extended leg if that helps to hold it in. Return again and again to the heart. For whatever reason, the term, or the phrase, "this too shall pass," keeps rising up in my thoughts. So often our emotions and our thoughts don't last long in context of the life that we've been living. Our thoughts are fleeting, our emotions are fleeting, discomfort is fleeting, and joy is fleeting. But we can return again and again back to our hearts. Three more breaths. Releasing the foot behind you, extending the leg long. And roll over onto your side, drawing that top knee in. Extending the arm up underneath the head once again as we let everything settle, slide the top leg straight. And using your top hand, press down into the earth, prop up onto your elbow. Draw the knees up and come back up to seated. And if you remember which leg you had in front to begin with, go ahead and switch. Removing the flesh from underneath the sits bones, sitting up nice and tall. The hips are rooting down into the ground. The crown of the head is rooting up. Hinging forward from the hips, start to bring the torso forward. Release the forearms down to the ground and let the head drape down. If you need to bring that block back in, placing it underneath the forehead, feel free to do so. And just observe the consciousness being drawn away from the heart. And you know what to do. Bring it back. Yoga is uniting consciousness and the heart. I abide in my joy, my true nature. Let's take one more deep breath here. Bringing the palms to the earth, pressing the ground away. Very slowly start to rise up, sitting back onto the hips, and allowing the spine to follow. From here, I'm going to lay in the opposite direction, coming down onto my side. So choosing which side that you were on, moving and changing sides. Extend that bottom arm out, resting the head down onto the arm. When you're ready, bring your top leg forward and out. Again, you can keep it straight, or if it feels better to bend it, feel free to bend it. Two more breaths. Again, we're working on the gallbladder meridian. So every position that we're doing here is to slowly open up that chain, open up that line. Lifting the head up off of the arm, we're going to sweep that arm forward. And coming back onto the shoulder, finding a gentle twist as we rotate the torso, bringing the top hand behind us. And when you're ready, begin to move into your cattail by bending the bottom knee, bringing that foot up behind you, reaching down to grab the foot and bring it up a little bit higher. You can always use your strap here, especially if you're having to crane and lift up and out of the mat. Your extended hand can come to the top of the extended leg. And then find a place to settle. Draw your consciousness deep into your heart and breathe. Recalling from our very first lesson, yoga means to unite, to yoke, to unify. So it is only appropriate for this practice that we are uniting any sensations in the body, perhaps intense, just noticing any judgment, uniting our thoughts and any emotions that are arising. We bring all that into the heart, into the seat of our soul, where we can abide in our true nature, which is joy. Two more breaths. Releasing the foot behind you, extending the leg long. Rolling back onto your side, pressing the top hand into the ground. Extend the bottom arm underneath the head. And then drawing the top leg back and placing it on top of the bottom leg. Bring yourselves up to seated. Press your top hand down into the ground. Prop yourself up on the bottom elbow and press up. And we'll move into shoelace pose. Bending one knee, you're going to draw the heel over to the opposite glute. Cross the top leg over and lay the top knee down onto the bottom knee. Begin to work to draw the top heel in towards the other glute so that you have your knees stacked. Now, if this is not available to you right now, we're working towards this, you can always bring the legs out to the side, placing a block underneath the top knee. Take a moment to settle into the hips, finding balance between the right and the left hip. We're going to draw the torso forward, bring the hands down to the ground in front of you, and draw the chin in towards the throat. As you hold your shoelace pose, staying with the pose, just notice the sensations. And then draw those sensations up into the heart. Perhaps imagining that the breath is pulling the sensations up from the hips and residing in the heart as you exhale. Taking a deep breath in, pushing the ground away, lifting the head. Walk the hands back. Rock back onto the sits bones and release the top knee. Release the bottom knee. And take a moment to place the hands behind us, hammock style, windshield wiper those knees from side to side. And then tucking the other foot underneath the opposite foot, placing the opposite knee down onto the ground. As you cross the top knee over and bring that heel in. As you hold your shoelace pose, you are keeping your shoulders broad here. The head does start to move down towards the knee. We want to keep the ground pressing away so we're not folding the shoulders down here. Lifting up and out of the hips, hinging forward, tuck the chin towards the throat. Yoga is uniting consciousness in the heart. I abide in my true nature, joy. This is certainly a practice of just noticing where your attention gets drawn away from your practice, from the sutra. And pressing the ground away, rising up and out of the hips. We'll release the top knee, sole of the foot to the mat. Release the bottom knee, sole of the foot to the mat. Hands coming behind for hammock pose and sweep the knees from side to side. And then gradually start to make your way onto your back. Lying down. And extending both legs out. Walking them out to the edges of the mat and letting the feet fall open. Tucking the shoulder blades underneath the back of the body. And resting the palms up. Your consciousness is your awareness. A metaphor that is often used in yoga is imagine that your consciousness is like a still lake. Early in the morning, and as the sun rises, you can see the reflection so clearly of the trees. Water undisturbed is like a mirror, reflecting the sky, the clouds. And the wind that starts to pick up is likened to the thoughts and to the emotions. And if the wind picks up too greatly, it starts to disrupt the surface of the lake. And the waves create a distortion of the image that's reflected. And if the winds are allowed to go too deep below the surface, it starts to stir up the mud that rests at the bottom of the lake. And that mud rises up, starts to change the clarity of the lake. Yoga teaches us that we can practice stillness. And in doing so, the mud starts to settle. The surface starts to go smooth. And the reflection becomes a lot clearer. And our ability to abide in our true nature becomes a lot easier. Yoga is uniting consciousness and the heart. I abide in my true nature, joy. Slowly and gently, bringing your awareness now into the physical body, seeing how the sensations have passed, transformed, and shifted into different sensations. Finding your fingers and your toes, give them a wiggle. And bringing the legs together, lifting the arms up and overhead. As you bend the knees, placing the soles of the feet to the mat, take a moment to windshield wiper the knees from side to side. And then lifting the feet up off the ground, bring the arms up and over and hug the knees to the chest. Rocking from side to side if that feels good. Or you can rock from front to back. And then bringing yourself over to either side, pausing for just a moment, using your bottom arm as a pillow. And bringing back any insights from your practice today. And allow the insights to settle into the consciousness in your heart. as you honor your practice with 2 life-affirming breaths. And then using your top hand, pressing down into the earth, rising up, coming to a seated upright position, and placing the hands at your heart center. Slowly take in a few deep breaths. Notice how joyful you may feel living from the heart. I invite you to practice this sutra for at least 5 minutes each day. Repeating frequently throughout the day, yoga is the uniting of consciousness. I abide in my own true nature, joy. Whatever you have going on today, whoever you're interacting with, wherever your footsteps are taking you, may you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be safe, may you know peace. From my heart to yours, I honor you, I see you. Thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste. Heart hugs. I'll see you guys later. Bye. Coming in for a close up.